in my campaign, I said that I wanted to turn America into one giant Switzerland, armed and neutral. Absolutely, I want a strong military. Absolutely, have our borders safe. Absolutely.
Borders safe? That's not your position.
Not borders
you
safe.
think borders should be open. You think people should come in and out.
Borders should be protected from enemies. And so, yes, I want, like I said, one giant Switzerland, except lately they weighed in on the Ukraine thing, but that's another thing. So, no, I want a strong defense so that I can protect America. But you were leading somewhere else.
Yeah. So where I was going with this, but since you went there, let's just kind of go to the border side. What are your thoughts about immigration? Should people just cross the border and come to America if they choose to? How should we treat illegal immigrants crossing the border in the South?
My position is 3 of my grandparents are immigrants. They came over in the early 1900s. And that's what I'd like to see us go back to, which is pretty much open borders. Of course, we don't give them free phones. We don't give them free health care. We don't do all of that. And of course, if we know, MS-13 gang members or, terrorists, of course, we don't let them in. But what made our country great is people like my grandparents coming over here and working hard for the American dream. And that's one of the reasons why I love my country so much. My grandmother, when I was younger, used to tell me about the old country, about how, the old country, they just take all your money so everybody has the same and you can work and work and work and you don't get anywhere. And listening to her stories is really what made me love this country so much. And she came over here, worked very hard, and my grandfather worked very hard from the same country, although they met here. And by the way, what's scary is the country that she came from is Denmark. And Denmark, we don't think of it as an oppressive country, but she would tell us how, they just take all your money. And here you can work hard and earn a living. And by the way, when they died, it's not like they had amassed a huge fortune. In fact, they lived in Florida and lived in, I used to call it a trailer. She would correct me and say a mobile home. And but the thing is she said, in America, you can live how you want and you can work hard and make something of yourself.
Open borders? Open borders?
Again, I'm not going to let terrorists come across.
How are you going to figure out who's a terrorist and who's not? Do I look like a terrorist? What if I come across?
Don't we know? Don't we know? Don't we keep track of
people?
So
is there going to be an ICE? Would there be a border patrol workers to come through? Would they have to ID them? So what do you mean by open border? Would there not be a wall? Would there not be a fence? Would there not be anything for people to come across?
Like I said, like the early 1900s when we had more people come in.
But this is not the early
now
1900s,
it's the opposite.
Though. Yeah, but okay. So let me get this part right. I want to really understand this. So if I'm coming from Tijuana, what am I crossing if I'm coming from Tijuana? Is there a gate? Is there a border patrol? Is there an ICE in your world, in your administration?
This gets into something that's controversial in the Libertarian Party because there are many who say, yes, we want to gate, and others who say no. So I would prefer to have it so that we have minimal checking. Here's one of the biggest problems that we have right now is that, because so many people say, well, people just need to come over legally. But the system is set up so that hardly anybody can come over legally. So I would like to flip it around so we've got more people than not being able to pass through. But, we've got national security people who know who some terrorists are. They know who the gangs are.
Oh, my God, Joe, you sound naive again. You can't say that. So let me go back to it. I don't mean to offend you, please. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but...
Oh, no, I like spirited debates.
Yeah. But go back to the borders. So you didn't answer the question. I want as clear of an answer on this one as possible, because would we have an ICE and border patrol under a Jorgensen administration, or would anybody be able to drive by and come to U.S.?
Can I answer that if I'm a candidate again? Will you have me back if I'm a candidate?
No, I want to hear it now because
I'm
no,
not a candidate
no,
now.
but if you're on the stage. By the way, I'm not even a moderator. I'm not even asking questions on a debate. If you can't answer the question to a guy like me, I want to hear it from you because I think the audience would want to know. We have a lot of your followers, and we have people who are considering. A lot of people who call themselves libertarian that now are like, "Dude, I'm not down with that. That just completely threw me off."
Well, yeah, and see, that's where I'm getting. Up until recently, the Libertarian Party platform was that we only let people across the border who are not going to take away your life, liberty, or property. And now it's become more open borders. So that's why I'm saying there's some serious discussion in the Libertarian Party. And my promise to the Libertarian Party was that I would uphold the platform. And I do like the idea of only letting people across with who believe in life, liberty, and property that they're not going to take those from.
So would you have a border patrol? Would you have a fence?
Do we verify that now?
If I come through today, if I go to Tijuana, which I've gone to many times when I was 18 years old, if I'm coming back, there'd be a line of cars and there's a fence that I have to cross. Tom, you've gone through this before when you go to Tijuana.
Absolutely.
There's a fence, and what do? Can we see ID of everybody in the car?
How about making it wider so the line's not so long, first of all?
But I think this is a very serious issue, Joe. I want to go back to what you're saying, though. What is under your administration, what does that border look like? If somebody is coming from Central or South America because their country has a lot of problems, they're escaping whatever regime they're going through. They're escaping the Mexican cartel. They're trying to come to America. Or the ISIS is trying to figure out a way to come through the border because politicians are being naive, and they open up the border to say, oh, we're just an open border type of place. And ISIS will say, what a naive bunch of people. Let me get in there. This is an easy way for me to get in. Under your administration, that would be open?
I would suggest that we have better national intelligence, that we don't know, that we don't know who the dangerous people. We're not going to get everybody, but we're not going to get everybody who are homegrown terrorists either. I mean, we've got a Timothy McVeigh who was born on the soil. So it's never going to be,
you still haven't answered
you
my
never
question,
have
though.
Utopia.
But what I'm asking you is, would your borders be open?
Would it look like going from Florida to Georgia? No.
What would it look like?
It would look like everybody who comes across, if national security has said that this person shouldn't come across, it's going to be more like 99% coming across.
So what we have now, we just had 2 million border crossings last year.
But the problem that we have now, we've got two problems now. We've got we've got an impossible system to become a legal immigrant. There's low quotas. People have to go through too much paperwork. Secondly, when they come here, we've got a welfare state that that we say, okay, we can pick up on them. Although, well, two things. First of all, I don't like this whole phone idea. I don't know why we're giving people free phones.
Yeah, they're giving them phones instead of ankle bracelets.
Guys, I want to simplify this. It's very simple for me. I want to talk borders. Let's stay on borders. What happens if a libertarian candidate is the president? What does the borders look like?
But that's what I'm telling you. I'm going to let 99% of the people go, but
to come in.
But
99% come in.
Yes.
So we'd have similar numbers, like 2 million, 3 million.
No, it'd be even higher than that.
Yeah.
It would be like when my grandparents came across, which is what helped make our country great. But I would like to go back to the charity, because I said I don't like the fact that we've got so many welfare programs that they can come in and take advantage of. However, many of them are set up so that somebody has to be here 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, depending on what it is, depending on if it's state or local, depending on if it's from one state to another. I don't believe that many of these people are coming across the border just for our welfare. I think many of them are coming across for the very reason that my grandparents came across, which is to work hard and make a better life for themselves.
I think
I still don't have an answer, though.
that's what I'd like to hear.
Go ahead, Tom.
Joe, respectfully, in your answers here, you're pointing back to some very real issues. Okay, so we have quotas. We have H-1B quotas for professional knowledge workers. We also have certain quotas for total immigration. Yeah, those are things that are going on now. But if you were president, you know damn well that an executive order you could sign on day one and you can move those numbers. The question really is,
and I would.
And what people want to hear is, what does open border mean specifically for you, the libertarian president? And if you could answer that.
Again, I'm letting in 99% of the people.
She just did.
And through intelligence, I'm going to have somebody stopping somebody that we know is a murderer, somebody who, that we know is a terrorist from the Middle East.
So naive.
Somebody that's a gang.
How are you going to know? Like, can you read what number am I thinking right now?
Again.
But what I'm trying to say is, how do you know anybody's motives? How do you know, like, are we going to have a minority report technology to know who's about to create a future crime and arrest people on future crimes? You don't know. Even today, we don't have that kind of intelligence to track all of that.
But I can say the same thing. How do we know that Timothy McVeigh was going to go and bomb people? There are dangerous people in this country as well. You can't know every motive, but you can know who gang members are in Mexico, right? MS-13. Can't you know them?
So then that then goes to, if we already have so many problems like a Timothy McVeigh in our country, why don't we close the borders and make the requirements clear, but a little bit more picky on who we hire? A company who just hires anybody and everybody into the company without a filtering system, whoever that hiring person is in that company should be fired, because there's got to be certain criteria on how you hire people, right?
Such as?
You want me to give you some of them?
Yeah.
It's very easy. I want to know what your experience is. I want to know what kind of qualifications you got.
Okay,
I want to know. I want to know what you bring to the table. I want to know how you're going to make my company better. I want to know how many jobs you've had in the last 5 years and how many times you've changed. I want to know what your attendance is. I want to call your 3 references. I want to put a small challenge to you in the interview process and tell you, Joe, I like your attitude. I like the way this is going. Do you like to read books? I do. I want you to read this book, write a paper on it. Into this 3rd interview, I want to see what you get out of this book. You willing to do that? Sure. If you don't come back 50% of the time, you don't finish a small assignment like that, you're not going to finish a small assignment when you're hired with me. I just filtered out the people that don't want to do the work. I would filter those people out. Instead saying, come on in, everybody. Let's hire everybody. So why don't we just hire 200 people? Forget about hiring anybody. Let people apply to work for this company and don't even interview them. Just bring them all in. That just, the logic behind, even I'm thinking purely logically as an operator, I can't logically. I should have never, like, if I think about myself at a certain age, you should have never hired me because I was not qualified to be hired. So we should let anybody through the border. Okay, so let me go.
We can agree to disagree and get to a more interesting topic.
Yeah, well, this is a very interesting topic. And by the way, a lot of people are worried about this specific topic.
Except I don't think we're going to get anywhere on
that.
No,
but what I do think, a lot of people are here saying, there is an answer to that. I want to know what the position is for the Libertarian Party on how they manage that. But you didn't just get like 10,000 votes. You didn't get 20,000 votes. You got 1.8. So the way you got 1.8, I'm trying to think, did you guys get 1.8 because there's 1.8 million libertarians in America? Is it just talking to the base of people that agree with you, or you don't talk to people that maybe challenge the position and break it down where the others can make up their mind and say, well, this makes sense or this doesn't make sense? Because that also gets your argument to be stronger to say, well, listen, I just sat down with this guy. He asked that question. I don't have an answer for it. Guys, we got to be ready because someone's going to ask me this question under the election. We got to watch this clip. Here's how I answered it. You should have said this. This is the position. Got it. Let's role play. So that's how I would train my candidate if I'm their campaign manager.
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.